gentlemen, my name, as being said, is Mariam Mokhtar, and it is my pleasure and honour to welcome the Chief Minister of Penang, Mr. Lim Guan Eng, to London and to the Monsoons Book Club speaker series of events. I'll go straight into it. Yeah? Last week, as we were walking along Queensway, we bumped into former Deputy Prime Minister Tun Musa Hitam, and he said to us, Malaysia is in a mess. I think many of us would agree that Malaysia is in a mess. What we'd like to know is, what is DAP's solution to get Malaysia out of this mess?
Thank you, Mariam. Before I answer that question, can I first thank Mariam for inviting me to the Monsoon Club. And I would like to introduce several members who have come along with me, especially my senior state ESCO member from Penang, Yang Berhormat Chow Kon Yao. He's also the National Vice Chairman of DAP and Penang State DAP Chairman, together with his wife. We have also with us here today Ms. Lim Chui Peng. She's in charge of Heritage. Penang, Georgetown is a UNESCO World Heritage City, and we are here for an official visit with the some of the heritage sites, as well as meeting some official leaders in the British government. Again, I would like to apologize for being a bit late, because apparently there was some run and some road closure. So my driver had to take a big detour to come to this place. So once again, I would like to say that I'm very pleased and happy to be here. No need to meet Mariam, because we have always seen her articles, and finally we have seen the person herself. As well to see many fellow Malaysians who are still concerned, and of course have high hopes and expectations of change in Malaysia. First, before I answer that question, let me wish all our Muslim friends, brothers and sisters, Selamat Berpuasa, and also to wish every Malaysian a very, what would describe as a very challenging year ahead for us, and that we all should not lose hope and faith. And despite Tun Musa Hitam saying that Malaysia is a mess, I think he has been very polite. I would say that Malaysia is not in a mess. Malaysia is in a state of crisis. If you look at the state of our economy, ringgit dropping propitiously, our economy tanking because of GST, and our leaders not doing anything to save the economy but trying to save themselves, I would say that Tun Musa Hitam has been very polite. Now, our solutions towards resolving this crisis is, of course, number one, we need to have a change of leadership. This is the first step. The Prime Minister must take a leave of absence if we want to get to the root of the crisis. And if there's to be any investigation of substance and of with the necessary neutrality, as well as gaining public credibility, you cannot have a Prime Minister who is a subject of the investigation to remain in his office whilst you have the IGP, you have the Bank Negara Governor, you have the MACC Commissioner, and then you have the, of course, you also have the Bank Negara Governor, all who are under the authority of the Prime Minister to be able to conduct an independent and neutral investigation of their own boss. So I say, as a first step, he has to take a leave of absence. Number two, of course, the final step is you cannot continue same old, same old. The Barisan Nasional has to go. And since the funds relating to 1NDB is clearly used for the 2013 general elections, the results of the general elections for parliamentary seats is clearly tainted. There must be fresh elections as soon as possible. it doesn't matter whether we win or we lose. It doesn't matter whether Barisan Nasional comes back to power. You must have a clean government, a legitimate government that is elected without being bought, as what is clearly so in the 2013 elections, where $700 million has been allegedly deposited into the Prime Minister's account. And I think this is unprecedented because never in Malaysian history has such allegations been mounted against a sitting Prime Minister. Not the previous 5 Prime Ministers, but only on Najib. And I think we need to take a very drastic action. So of course, in the short term, definitely he has taken a leave of absence. Muhyiddin may not be the best choice, but still he is better than Najib. Secondly, in the long term, which is not actually very long, because if you talk about having fresh elections, it has to be done within 6 months. Have fresh elections, because 2013 elections is completely, I think I will describe that as a nullity, because it's a bought elections, bought with what is described as by the Wall Street Journal, $700 million before the 2013 elections. And up to today, he has not clearly expressed, or he has not clearly declared that no such amount was deposited in his account. He has refused to say so unequivocally. We are still willing to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I think that the time is running out. Time is running out for a Prime Minister, and he must state clearly and unequivocally that Wall Street Journal's allegations are true. And to date, he has only asked his lawyers to send a letter of clarification, which we know is no legal suit. So I think I'll just stop there.
But before it can be declared null and void, somebody has got to decide it. The courts? Who is going to declare this null and void?
Well, the problem with the courts is that we are subject to a 1 month time limit, because you can only seek a declaration of courts that the elections are now void. You do it within a month from the date that the results are gazetted.
So
and then you are actually statutorily barred.
So what happens now?
That's why we are saying that long term, short term, get him to go on it. Long term, press for elections.
YB, but if, okay, there are lots of problems like the cabinet. I think most of the cabinet are, I think, all seem to be united behind Najib. And then there is, as you said correctly, the 4 people who are part of the task force are under Najib's control. The question is, what can the opposition do, given the fact that I think it's quite clear that you are divided? How are you going to do? Can you all do anything if any of the mechanisms now in place falls apart or fails to check the Prime Minister?
No, we may be divided in the sense that PR does not exist. But I think this issue is bigger than whether PR exists or do not exist. We are looking at the legitimacy of a government, whether the mandate of the people has been allowed to express democratically. So I think it's bigger than every one of us. I think we should put that all aside. Let's have fresh elections so that a new government with legitimate authority can be established. As I said, if you do a fresh elections now, for PR, that will be perhaps a most inopportune time. Why you're not looking at our interests, you're looking at the interests of the nation. And we feel that at the end of the day, whatever problems we have, I think in terms of credibility, I think we are in much better position than the Prime Minister.